This Degens Guide to Las Vegas edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with the promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
We're doing it.
We're doing it
Live.
We are here live at the Circa, talking all things Circa Million, Circa Survivor. Got ourselves in the contests and ready to go, Ryan.
We're making moves. We were here a couple weeks ago with Bet Bash and we talked to movers. We were moving today.
We're moving. We're shaking. Of course, Degens Guide to Las Vegas. We're going to be bringing on a bunch of guests, talking. Hey, what is your favorite NFL future, and what's your inside? What's a little insider secret to coming out here to Las Vegas? Ryan, I'll start with you.
Yes.
We've given out plenty of NFL futures. We got plenty more to give, I'm sure, over the next couple weeks with the division previews, the team previews. Make sure you check out all 32 NFL team previews. Get one word per team preview and put together in order. 32 words is the phrase that pays. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/phrase. Submit your entry. $500 NFL Circa future up for grabs. What is your what's your Degens Guide to Vegas tip, Ryan? We've given a bunch of Vegas tips over the years. What's your tip?
This tip has been consistent for, this is probably close to 7 years, but the humidifier in the room.
Yeah.
So early days,
you're running it back.
I'm running it back because early days it was free. So the simple advice was request a humidifier from the front desk.
They used to send them up
for free. Then during the pandemic, it became unsafe to use humidifiers, and so they but then it was safe again just for a fee. That fee is crazy at some of the nicer hotels, as much as $40-50 a night. So if you
more than what a small humidifier costs.
If you don't have a travel humidifier already, and maybe we should put this in the show description.
Link to the Walgreens small humidifier that we both own.
But there is, and if you are in Vegas, the Walgreens on the Strip at the Palazzo Venetian does carry this product. It's a tiny little humidifier, full blast. It probably runs for like 7 hours, and it fits in the bag. And first thing I do when I check in, put my bag down, set up the humidifier, get the humidity levels in the room up to normal. I mean, we're beach dwellers. We do live in an arid climate, but not like Vegas. Yeah. So get the humidifier running. Always keep it filled with water. It's going to make you feel like you drank an extra 2 bottles of water. You're not going to have Vegas voice in the morning. You're not going to, Sean, we've been coming out for a year pretty consistently, and not many mornings I wake up with that Vegas dry cough anymore. So
no, it's huge. It's huge. It keeps your voice. It helps with the hangover. You don't feel super dried and cracked out. And yeah,
great conversation piece. If you want to talk, pay it forward to someone else.
Yeah. 100%.
Makes you sound like an adult.
Yes, it's great all around. Bring out the humidifier. I'm going to say this one. This seems kind of obvious, but I've been guilty of it. I know CJ had an issue with this, where when you come out, make sure you already have some small bills.
Oh no.
Showing up to Las Vegas, because hey, you hit the ATM or the bank before, you got all hundreds for the gambling. Don't forget some fives, some singles, because hey, you didn't realize the guy in the taxis helping you out with your bag, or someone checking you in. Tip the limo driver, tip the limo guy, tip the guy bringing your bag up. And if you don't have some fives or some singles, it's really awkward. Hey, can you break 100? And it's
honestly, if you want to ask me why, I've been on a relative gambling heater.
Yes.
Lately, like, forget sports, just
the slot machine's been good to your eye.
Insane gambling heater, and I think a lot of it has to do with tipping. So I'm going to lay it out for you because people always want to know how much to tip.
Yeah. What's your formula?
So ride from the are you tipping a normal percentage on a cab Uber ride?
Yeah, whatever, like 20% is, I think makes sense.
Well, guy who gets the bellhop. What are you tipping him when he shows up to your room?
$5.
So I went with a 10 this time. And it felt like the karma was big time in my favor. All right, then what about are you tipping the check-in agent?
I do from time to time. We did it threw him a 20 the other time checking in. I feel like if you're asking for like a better room, that kind of thing, when you're sliding in going, hey, here's a 20 for you, they get really excited, and they're clacking away behind the keyboard. You never know what they can do for you. It doesn't hurt, Ryan. To your point, starting the trip off with some good vibes karma wise is huge.
What about the maid service, the room cleaning service?
Yeah,
because a lot of times people don't tip this situation.
So it kind of depends on how many days I'm out there, if they've actually serviced much. Like if you're just staying for one night, maybe you leave like $10, but if they've come multiple times during the trip, maybe I'm anywhere from like $10 to $20 a night. I would say
$10 a night. I think is
$10 a night's probably good. I mean, if like we're here for 2 nights, I'll probably leave at 20.
Yeah, when we're here, so when we were coming out for the VSiN show, little one nighter, it was a $20 bill with 3 sports gambling podcast business cards.
Sometimes I leave the drink tickets. I don't know if they can use them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they give a shit, but
don't leave.
Couldn't hurt. Maybe they can give them to someone.
Don't leave the slot receipt, the slot vouchers that you don't want.
Really?
They cannot cash those.
Oh,
in.
okay. Good.
So
note.
you're just giving them pieces of paper.
They're like more trash for them to throw out.
But honestly, like the smart move is just like you're saying, bring a maybe it's a couple $100 in small bills, just so you're not constantly
greasing a lot of palms. Feels good.
And then last one, sports betting. I mean, obviously you tip at the tables when you win.
Yeah.
But when you're betting on sports, when do you tip and how much?
I tip when I cash out. To me, it's not a percentage thing. It's kind of like, tip them like 5-ish.
Had a nice conversation.
I mean, if it's a huge hit, that's different. But like if it's a standard, like $100-$200 bet, I'll get like, whatever that is back. I know you like to bet, minus one. You like to bet 110 to win 100. I'll usually just bet flat amounts.
Donkey.
So then you get a little bit of a couple singles, some cash. It kind of depends what I'm cashing in, but probably in the 5-ish range.
That's what the horse bets are for. The change, working up the tip money.
What's your formula on tipping the ticket?
I have no formula. Like for example, today I cashed in a couple probably like $700 of preseason bets.
Yeah.
So that half of that is profit probably at most. Although one was a money line, and I had a nice conversation with the lady. It was the same one that got us a notable ticket. And so I slid her a 10. It was feeling good again. Vibes.
Hey,
I'm going to read the situation.
If you're winning, if you're getting your ass kicked, that's one thing. If you're winning a bunch, you should be greasing a lot of pumps.
When you drop back in the pocket, sometimes you got to adjust what you're doing. And so post snap processing. I don't tip all the time though at the sports betting window.
Anytime I'm cashing a ticket, I'm tipping. But I'm a classy guy.
If you're down for the day, but you're cashing in a couple tickets, you're still tipping.
Yeah. Unless I'm completely getting my ass kicked, but I'm
gonna have to see if that holds true. If you,
every single time I've cashed a ticket.
There's no way if I'm down like $3,000 and I'm cashing in $500 that I'm leaving a tip.
All right, well that's fair.
Yeah.
When you're winning more, you're tipping more. Basically, if you're winning, you should be tipping.
Think about it as like the mob. Always kick it up.
Yeah, always kicking it up.
Be safe. Kick it up.
All right, we got a bunch of good guests on this episode. Big thanks to everyone who came out. So let's get to it. Joining us here at Circa in Las Vegas, the director of operations at Circa Sports, Mr. Jeff Benson. Jeff, thanks for hopping on the line, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, gentlemen. Excited to talk all things Circa Sports, and obviously it's contest weekend, so exciting times here at the book.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to be here. It's an electric environment. I see all the proxies jockeying for the signups, and I mean, I'm sure it's like year after year, you keep kind of crushing it. Last year was 9.2 million for the Survivor. This year 10 million. What was the discussion? Because I'm sure, knowing Derek, he always wants to go bigger each year. Did you guys, what's the math in figuring out the guarantee? How does that go when you decide, hey, how much are we going to give out here?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually Mike Palm, myself and Derek in a room. Mike Palm and I say one thing, Derek says another thing, and then we.
You're like, all right, 9.4. No, we got to go bigger.
Yeah, Mike and I like to kind of walk before we run, and Derek, wants to hit the gas. So, it's a fun discussion. Obviously for us, being able to, see where we started in terms of where our guarantee was to where we're at now. Obviously, this is going to be the fourth year we're doing the Survivor. We started at $1 million guarantee. We're now at $10 million.
That's crazy.
Yeah. just to kind of see the growth of the contest. We just obviously rolled out the quest for 9.2 million, the documentary that's being hosted on VSiN, which kind of recapped obviously last year's run through Survivor and things like that. So just to kind of it's taken on a life of its own. It's similar to obviously what, the World Series of Poker happened, with the moneymaker boom and things like that.
Yeah.
People just love Survivor. And for the longest time, there wasn't like a large legal football contest. And obviously Derek tasked us with doing that. And, obviously not
the biggest one we have in the world. No. And I tell people, like, when we're doing the reads for the show, I go, you don't want to be that guy that wins your office Survivor pool and not also be in Circa. Like, as a gambler, that is my worst case scenario. That's why I'm gonna be in Survivor and Million every year, because there could be that
FOMO.
year where you get really hot and you would hate to miss out. And for us, it was a few years back. We almost got to Thanksgiving. We would have got the Thanksgiving pick right. We had it saved and just got tripped up there that last week. I want to know, and I'm sure the quest for 9.2 million, they're going to get into it, but what is it like? Are you guys looped in at all when they talk about the chopping of the pot when it gets down to like those final handful of people and the negotiations? Like, are you looped in? What's kind of your role there?
Yeah, I mean, for us, obviously we're the operator, so, we want to try to remain as neutral, third party, and impartial as possible. So obviously it's life-changing money when you get down that far.
Yeah.
When you look last year, there were 4 people that ultimately ended up winning. They each won roughly 2.3 million. I think for us, what we try to do in terms of providing, an avenue for people to monetize their entry is Derek will give credit. At 0% interest, people are able to come in, let's say the implied, equity of the entry is worth $1 million. They want to take out a credit line for 100,000 and, bet against the team that they're, picking in Survivor, with a couple weeks to go. We'll happily, we'll happily go through that route in terms of sitting down with lawyers and, being at the chop table in terms of the discussions. We don't really participate in that. What I would tell your listeners is, for us, obviously, let's say, the two of you come to an agreement or whatnot. Obviously, at the end, if you win,
that's between you guys, and
that's between you. But we have the ability through a Form 5754 to split the prize money how you guys tell us to, and defer the taxable liability as you guys see fit.
Well,
so
see, Ryan, because sometimes I'm already, you're like getting ahead of yourself when you're thinking about the tax liability of this 2.3 million.
You take yours, put it into the IRA. I'll take chips.
Well, that's the whole fun. That's the whole fun of it. It's like playing the lottery. What are you going to do with the 10 million when you ultimately end up winning?
We always joke to Derek that when we win, and we will win one of these years, just chips. We're going to take it in chips. We asked Derek if we could get it in chips. He said it was all right. So
well, Sean Perry, Golden Boy last year, who was made infamous as it relates to Chopgate. If he won, he told me that he wanted to take the 9.267. He wanted it in all cash, and he wanted it to roll it out to his Rolls Royce in wheelbarrows.
Great video.
So
we do have and I got this on eBay. It's like an old school Wilson football suitcase. So that's what I'm going to be using to transport the winnings.
Yeah, American leather.
And basically, whatever Wilson made the footballs out of back in the day, they made a briefcase. So we got it ready. We're feeling good.
We've planned too much, maybe.
Jeff, I feel like you're very outspoken online, interacting with people. It's great to see you kind of go.
That's the understatement of the century.
It's tight. When I see it, I'm like, man, you got the alert set up.
Yeah. Well, also meeting Jeff in person, very nice, amiable guy. But you go at him, he's gonna come over the top with some heat. What is kind of the silliest question you get asked as a sportsbook manager here?
Oh boy,
So many.
As it relates to the contest, there's a lot of people who miss the deadline and they reach out. Oh, can you make a one-time? Can you make a one-time thing for me this week? Or I overslept, or this, that, or the other. I am high up here, but in terms of being equitable and fair across the board, the deadline rules are rules. So, I would say you get a lot of insane requests when it comes to the contest. Well,
there was that one guy who and had a proxy, but he submitted through his proxy. He clicked on the wrong button. He meant to click the Detroit Lions. He clicked the Green Bay Packers for the Thanksgiving play, and he ended up moving on. So
incredible story.
Yeah, it's like sometimes it's just going to be your year if stuff like that is breaking your way. Our episode we're talking about kind of inside tips for Las Vegas. Obviously, you live out here. How long have you lived out in Vegas?
Been out here since 2012, right after I graduated college.
And where'd you go to school?
Perfect. Small D3 school in Virginia called Christopher Newport.
Oh, okay.
757.
Yes.
Shout out. I went to Virginia Tech.
Okay.
I had an ex-girlfriend from Hampton. Spent some time in the area. Yeah.
So now, did you move out here wanting to get involved in the sportsbook industry?
Yeah.
Did you kind of have a lead already?
Absolutely. Obviously, 2012 a lot different in terms of the national landscape. Where we're at now with PASPA and things like that. So Vegas was really the only place to do it. So I came out here, gambled for probably 6 months. My mom, get a job, honey. Get behind the counter. So finally made mom happy. Got a job. Started as a ticket writer. Kind of worked my way up, and then
that's a great story.
Had the ability to come over here when Matt Metcalf, was hired by Derek and start Circa Sports. So yeah, couldn't be better. Couldn't be happier to be here.
I feel like that's a lot of the stories of people that work here, work for Derek in general. A lot of start from the bottom.
Promote from within. So Jeff, what would be a tip to someone coming out to Vegas? What's like an insider's tip that you would pass along?
Well, Derek would hate me if I said anything that wasn't Circa related.
Yes.
So we'll focus on Circa. If you are coming out and you want to, you're coming out for the football season. Obviously spending a day in the sports book. Getting a booth, getting a recliner, watching a game on an NFL Sunday is a can't miss experience. Obviously, we got the world's largest amphitheater up at Stadium Swim. Watching a UFC event out there. On a Saturday night. When the weather's fantastic.
Well, and we tell people this all the time. Yeah, hey, you're in a state that's legalized and you got the app, and yeah, sure, that's fun. But there is nothing like an NFL environment where half the room is rooting for one thing, half the room is rooting for something. Where you get that cover cheer, which is a totally unique. I remember when we were out here for March Madness, and I forget what the team was. It might have been like Santa Cruz or someone, and they hit a shot at the end, and they covered the 20.5, and the place went nuts. Like, meanwhile, the game audio, acting like it's a meaningless layup, but to have the cover go crazy, people love that.
Yeah, there's just no better environment, no better experience. You really feel like you're in the stadium. Yeah. Everyone's living and dying on the last play. So between Stadium Swim and the sports book, two great viewing experiences for every sports bettor, and then if you're bringing the wife, take her down to Barry's, which is our preeminent steakhouse. If you're going to do lunch one day, do 8 East, which is the best Asian
brisket fried rice,
best Asian fusion. Those are the two best restaurants we probably got here at Circa. And then if you want a nightcap, go up to Legacy, and that's our rooftop bar. So
the views are amazing up there. So Jeff, we're also asking people for like one favorite NFL future they got. Now maybe you don't have one. Maybe you do have
I got one.
Okay. Well, what do you got for us?
I think the with Justin Herbert with his plantar fasciitis, that injury, I think that's going to linger. Obviously, they got a whole new coaching staff, bringing in Harbaugh and things like that. don't have the Chargers as highly rated as others, and I think obviously the Raiders and the Broncos are not very good. I think the price on the Chiefs to win the division.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you look around market, you know, somewhere between 230 and 260, I think that's a pretty good bet. I would make my fare north of $3.
I was gonna say it's gonna be minus 500 by week 7.
Well, we went through this last year where you go, why do you can lay less than $2 on the Chiefs to win the division? What are we missing? It seems like the easiest auto play. You know, even with some issues, they're the Kansas City Chiefs. They always figure it out. And one more before we let you go. Is there one bet already that you're sweating about, maybe a little bit of Super Bowl liability that you're a little nervous about?
Malik Neighbors Offensive Player of the Year. I know one better might have gotten down on that at 275 to 1.
Yeah, Ryan.
Kyron Drones, Heisman, got a lot of investment on that one.
Is there one you're a little worried about already?
You know, we took some early Chief money. So I'd say the Chiefs probably aren't great from a repeat perspective, but some of the mid-teens type of teams, you know, the Packers, the Eagles, the Bills, things like that. We've taken some fairly sizable bets, you know, to win, you know, close to 7 figures, stuff like that. So obviously we'll have a full season to write into the future pool and kind of work some of that liability off. But yeah, I would say you know, the Eagles and the Bills have been popular. Those have been some of the Packers have been very popular. Those have been some of the early teams that bettors are wagering on.
All right, fade all those teams.
Fade all those teams. Right, I'm looking at him. He's not even sweating. He knows he's going to figure it out by the end of the season.
He knows Jalen Hurts is going to fall apart.
Oh, come on! How dare you? Go Birds! Well, Jeff, appreciate the time, and
Absolutely.
of course, check out all things Circa Sports, circasports.com. Taking a quick break to talk about Underdog Fantasy. Go to underdogfantasy.com. Use a promo code SGPN. Get that deposit match up to $1,000. Bunch of great promo options in the pick'em. Of course, Will Levis higher 199.5 passing yards week 1. I know you're in on that, Ryan. We've been giving out a bunch of our favorite Underdog Fantasy pick'em slips for the division previews. Check those out. Bunch of good winners. Knock on wood in there. And of course, college football week 0 is here. They got options there. NFL week 1, college football week 1, higher, lower, and yeah, I guess baseball is still happening as well. A lot of action. You can get it all over at underdogfantasy.com. Use the promo code SGPN. Get you that sweet deposit match up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Go to gametime.co or download the Game Time app. Make sure you get set up over on Game Time. Save you $20. Concerts, comedy, more. They got you covered. Great for checking out some NFL right around the corner. College football. Get your tickets over at gametime.co or download the Game Time app. Use the promo code SGPN. Joining us here at Radio Row in Circa Las Vegas, you know him, you love him, the laddie daddy, the man who is going on a road to 10 million, not 16 million, 10 million. We've clarified that, right, CJ?
Right. Well, 10 million is a cleaner title.
Yes,
but I'm going for all 16. But of course, I know there's competitors like the two are here. You know, like I say in Rounders, though, you don't see piranhas eating each other. So we're trying to get a buy.
True.
So we'll maybe come to an agreement.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. We got interviewed. They're doing this documentary, The Quest for 9.2 million. It's out on VSiN, and I think they're doing a season 2 of it. And we got interviewed, and then CJ was like, "Oh, you guys kind of stole my idea there with the documentary about this. So it's no big deal. No one's accusing it."
I know. You know, I was thinking to myself, like, maybe I'll bring it up, maybe not. Then it was all that was on my head.
Yeah, I can see.
So I gargled it out up top, and he was like, "What are you talking about?" You know, I mean. Listen, there's common thoughts, and they did film it last year, so they obviously didn't take my idea. But the title itself, I have the road to 10 million. They have the quest for 9.2 million. Listen, I know we do different things. It's kind of like the bouncing bet situation here. The walking bets. I mean, you know, Taylor methods.
It's tearing the internet apart.
Tearing the internet apart. The gambling spaces. Boing. Common theme. I get it. You know, they do their version. They do their version with the well-produced, budgeted, you know, advertising for Vegas. Mine is more of a raw guerrilla style.
Guy in a car yelling at oncoming traffic.
Guy in a car.
It's always the Prius.
Guy in a car getting upset at a gas station, a pump, whatever. But I like to say, bring it down. We did get interviewed yesterday. That we then later in the meet and greet, they couldn't believe. They said how great we were, and I'm like, of course, darling.
Yes.
I mean, you're dealing with the
They're
talent.
like, you
We're
guys
stars.
were funny.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, well, you're probably mostly interviewing these guys.
Right.
I was evaluating my EV opportunities.
Use the grid and
I mean,
some chances that
last night in Circa, while you
multiple simulations.
right, last night at Circa, while you were working hard at the blackjack table, I was looking around for a spot, and this one craps table, they all had like matching 69 jerseys with
Nice.
different, obviously sex puns as their nicknames, like Joey Fellatio, whatever it was, whatever it was,
Joey Fellatio.
whatever they
I
were.
played
You know.
softball with the Fellatio guy.
Yeah, it comes from a good family, but they. The point is, those are the guys they're probably
baby,
interviewing, and of course, we're going
Yeah.
to seem funny next to that sense
Yes.
of humor.
The bar is set very, very
Yes,
low.
but absolutely. But
So-
we're here. We're shooting new road to 10 millions, and you guys are definitely become a part of it.
Yes.
As we get the blue carpet treatment coming out here.
And we are doing this episode, the Degens Guide to Las Vegas, sharing a Las Vegas tip from each one of our guests. CJ, you've made a number of trips out to Las Vegas. We've done a number together. What is one tip you have for people, Degens coming out to Las Vegas? What do you got?
Well, that's an interesting thing. Now, I am finding out. I've been to Vegas a lot during my life. Not as many times, mostly in my most recent 4 years, where I stopped drinking. And it's kind of I'm discovering a new Vegas now.
Yeah.
When I get to drinking, I still listen. I still take edibles. You're still gonna wake up. I do every drug that comes in front of my face. I'm not a nerd about it. I'm on the Demi Lovato plan. But
I did see this guy's tweet went viral. It said, "I quit alcohol. I
Yeah.
still do weed, wax, acid,
Yeah.
cocaine,
Everything.
ketamine,
everything that's got me here.
everything else."
It's gonna keep me on the tables. So I did learn when I woke up this morning, you're gonna feel it's something with the air. You're gonna have that hangover feeling of what happened last night, no matter what. So you might as well drink. The only difference is I do know what happened last night.
Yeah.
I can recall that. I'm like, oh, that's right. All that it happened. What am I doing? And then, but I also realized we got to bed at decent hours, respectable, and I saw you guys do it. You guys kind of led the way, and I followed you. I'm like, oh, this can be done.
Yeah.
You don't have to be up till 5 or 6 o'clock every night just because it's open bar and you're at the tables going on.
Sean and I have spent way too many nights in Vegas to be staying up till 5 in the morning
Yes.
every night.
No, of
Don't
course.
chase the sun.
And this is a work trip, of course, but but it's a lot easier when you don't drink. And I'm not gonna look, but of course with the drug, but it's
Little give and take.
right? Little
6
give
of
and-
one, half dozen.
So
of
I
another.
like your tip. It's like, hey, you're in your 40s. You don't need to chase the sun. You can still have a lot of fun and get to bed at like midnight.
You don't
And
make any
hydrate.
mistakes.
And hydrate.
I did request maintenance because I had an issue with my AC.
Really?
And it may
Sounds
have
like a
just been I
disaster.
was really high and drunk.
You
And-
called maintenance for the 8?
I went. You can't. They don't have in-room phones, so I had to go
Yes.
down and talk to the lady. I'm like, it's really hot in my room. I
Right.
can't figure it out.
They're
and then
at-
by the time the guy got up there, 30 minutes later, it's like the AC was blasting. He goes, feels pretty good. I'm like, yeah. I don't
Well,
know.
they-
thank you, man.
Real
and then I
quick,
just talked
Sean?
to him about AC
Yeah.
for 10 minutes.
There is a phone in the room. Unfortunately, it's the same
gotta
device
tie it to
that
the
has
Amazon.
a mic, so you have to plug it in just to make the phone call down to the desk.
They always make it extra awkward too when you have to call in to think
Yeah.
like they're doing a trouble. Like this thing should be provided. I know it's always embarrassing when I have to call for the plunger or something to come up there. Especially
yeah, come on.
Let me tell
keep
you
it in
quick.
room.
I got a quick plunger story.
Sure.
Yeah,
So
let's hear it.
I was traveling with the wife early on in the relationship. We were beautiful Vancouver Island bed and breakfast. And I went outside for some reason. I come back inside and she's like, "You got to go ask the guy who owns the place for a plunger." So yeah,
Is a disgusting.
Hopefully, Miss Kramer is not listening to this episode. She'd be mortified.
she was mortified in the moment. Don't worry.
I bet. All right, CJ.
she shouldn't be though mortified. That's what I'm saying. It should be normalized, and
Yeah.
and they make it feel awkward. This is-
Normalized plunger life.
I'm just eating to completion.
She gives me a line. She gives me a line. It's the lady. I mean, I think it was the lady I just checked in with, so it made it extra awkward because I just got done lying to her. I'm like, "What floor is the gym on?
Yeah.
Is there a pool? I want to do laps. In the morning." Then she knows. And then like an hour later, yeah, I need a plunger on the 32nd floor.
Oh, you again.
Oh, that
Yeah,
health
right,
nut.
exactly.
All that fiber.
Right, but I'm like, but she I'm not lying. She goes, well, what happened? What happened?
It's one of those moments if you got to ask.
Vegas happened. You know what happened. You know how we're doing on these streets. What do you mean? What happened?
What happened?
All right, I'll send up an engineer. Like I need a wall taken out. Just have someone.
Guy with the slide ruler shows up.
Just have someone launch that plunger down the hallway. Oh, hungry hippo that thing back into my room. You know, I'm saying don't have the girls soccer team look at me, and I'll go back in my
Bing, bang,
shame.
boom.
Go back in my shame room. What the hell?
Knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone.
All right, real quick. We're up against it.
Okay.
CJ, NFL future. What do you got?
NFL future. Well, I gave this out to the cut. I'm loving Jacksonville, and I'm loving Jacksonville even more after watching last night's Anthony Richardson disaster.
Love it.
Debacle. That division's wide open.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, their total is 7.5. I love I gave out their sacks of over 42 as a team. And I love Walker, Defensive Player of the Year at 100-1.
Trayvon Walker.
Walker, ex-#1 overall pick in his third year, breakout year. He went from 3.5 sacks to 10 sacks, and now he's actually not dropping back in pass coverage this year with the new defensive coordinator.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. That's all it is for
Lock it up.
Lock it up.
And most sacks in the league is 50-1.
I do like that one.
Yes.
That was my favorite CJ bet. Check out CJ, Jags team preview, and check out the Bottom Line Bombs on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Thank you, CJ.
Of course.
Joining us here at Radio Row, you know him, you love him, from VSiN, Mr. Tim Murray. Tim, thanks for hopping on the show, man. Appreciate it.
Of course, gentlemen. Appreciate you.
Yes. Countdown to kickoff is on. We're also doing the Degens Guide to Las Vegas. We're asking our guests one tip, one trick, one insider. Now, you live out here.
I do.
How long have you lived in Vegas?
Almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years. Now,
Yeah.
did you come out to Vegas a lot before you moved out here?
No, I had been out here maybe 3 or 4 times,
Okay.
and mostly on business. So it was.
You weren't going completely
Is that like
crazy?
Is that like business?
No, so what I used to come out here for was when the radio station that I used to work for in DC, they didn't want to send anyone in the daily lineup from like 6 to 7 p.m. So they said, hey, you do a night show. We want the money from HBO and Showtime, so you go out to Vegas and you talk to boxers for a day. And I would fly in Thursday, and I would usually fly out Friday night.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you couldn't even go
No.
you couldn't even cut loose.
No.
Have some fun. What is as a Vegas local, and the Vegas locals pride themselves on stay away from the strip. But what's like an inside Vegas tip?
So if you're flying into Vegas or even driving in, here is the thing that I would do, because everybody wants some beverages.
Yes.
They are quite expensive.
Yeah.
So when you land at Harry Reid, or if you're driving in on Las Vegas Boulevard, just a little
I know where you're going,
bit
and I
ways
love it.
down, Total Wine and More
There you
is
go.
right there. Beautifully, reasonably priced, all you could ask for. I mean, Total Wine and More, not a sponsor, maybe could be.
Yeah.
Is just a place that has everything you could ask.
Yeah,
And it is, the prices are like wherever, right there on Las Vegas Boulevard.
Especially compared to the price you're going to pay in a casino.
And you could bring those into casinos.
Yeah.
You're allowed to bring your own booze into a casino now. You know, you can't like
Roll a cooler in.
But
I've
seen it been done before.
Got to bring it to the room.
And
Got to bring it to the room.
Shout out to Circa and the D. The one thing I really love, rooms are nice to begin with, but unlike a lot of rooms on the strip, they actually have a fridge you can use.
Boom.
Which is, and again, you're mentioning the
Like a
drinking.
case get in? You can probably fit a case in there.
Oh, you could easily fit a case in there, and not only obviously the booze, but like you're going to be drinking a ton of bottled waters. You don't want to be paying $9-10 for a bottle of water. Hit up the Walgreens. Like there was a when we stayed at the Venetian.
Now make sure it's
Palazzo.
a Walgreens kind of off the strip. You gotta.
Yeah.
So what I learned. So when I moved to town, I rented an apartment for 2 months before I bought my house, and it was right off the strip. And I went to the Walgreens or CVS, and I went in there. I'm like, why is everything ridiculously priced? Because it wasn't far enough away. Make sure you're far enough away.
Yes.
But once again, this shopping center, right there, right by the airport, everything in there is normal priced.
There you go.
And last time, Sean, we learned about the using the Uber to stop somewhere.
Oh,
so
yes.
you could hop in your ride on the way from the airport and just have them stop off.
Just take
Hold on, I gotta
one
make
more
a stop.
location. Yeah, pick them up the 6-pack. You'll still come out on the plus side. We're getting the tips for the Degen Las Vegas and one NFL future. Tim, what do you like this year? What's an NFL future in your portfolio already?
So I've made a couple cross sport future parlays.
Oh, here we go.
But I want to give you a juicier one. But the two cross sport parlays that I put together, both at DraftKings, were Liberty to win the CUSA.
Our audience loves this already.
It's easy money.
Paired with the Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC West.
It feels like that should be minus 1,000.
Plus 115.
Whoa.
Plus 115.
Sean, let the accounting team know.
Yeah.
We're gonna need more resources.
What could go wrong, right?
Well,
Liberty will be a favorite in every single game. They'll be a double-digit favorite in every single conference game.
Now, do you think Liberty makes it to the college football
I
playoff?
really hope they don't.
Okay.
Because I don't think they're as good as Memphis or Boise State or even some of the other AAC teams or even UNLV. Their schedule is Charmin soft. I think we all need to be big Appalachian State fans. September 28th, the boys from Boone, they're going to sell it out. Liberty goes down there. I think East Carolina, by the way, could be frisky against them September 21st.
I mean, you're talking to one of the few media outlets that employs ECU. Well, Colby didn't graduate from ECU, but loves the ECU program, and he's saying like if you can find a price for them to make the college football playoff, I've been struggling to find it, but he likes them to win their conference 15-1 here.
Phil Steele kind of liked them as a dark horse, also.
So I got that one. I'll give you another that I put together. The numbers come down a little bit, but I really like this one, and this is gonna be for you, Sean.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
Oregon to make the playoff. Okay,
Ooh,
minus 300.
Okay,
right. I love Oregon at DraftKings right now. It's the current price. Let's pair them with Fly Eagles Fly to win the NFC East.
Let's
plus
go.
144.
That's a loser.
I
mean, to me, the NFC East, the formula is really simple. No team wins back-to-back years, and the Commanders and Giants aren't good, so it has to be the Eagles, right?
Like, I mean, come on, simple math.
You do the math.
Simple math, and then if you want a little bit of a longer one, Jalen Hurts. MVP 14-1.
Let's get it.
There you go.
What is this?
I did not.
Come on,
Kramer.
Tim.
This is not why we brought Tim on.
I do have for you, Kramer. I do have, and I told you this. I have a 150-1 ticket on Kyron Drones to win the Heisman Trophy.
This is like been Kramer's opening line. Like guys are coming up to Kramer and be like, "I got Drones at 90-1. I got him at 175." Like that's all the conversation this weekend is in people introducing like, "Hey, I'm so and so. I got Drones at 125." Like
SGP on the road Friday, September 27th, South Beach, Miami, Virginia Tech, old Big East rivalry.
The Hokies are going to take over that stadium.
Oh, definitely.
I'll tell you that right now.
look out. Well, Tim, appreciate you hopping on. Make sure you check him out on VSiN, of course, and on X at the #1 Tim Murray. Appreciate it, Tim.
Boys, always appreciate it.
Let it ride. Gonna check into the lab real quick before we get to some more interviews. Of course, the Rhythm Lab. We left our safety goggles at the LA studio, Ryan. Hopefully we don't catch any shrapnel while we're in here cooking up some bets. I know Kramer's got his college football NFL models going. I got my own going. I've been going hard on rushing and defense, old school football, which it's sweet. So you enter the sliders in what you want. Again, if you know how to like adjust settings on Madden, you can build your own NFL betting model on Rhythm. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm RITHMM. Get your 7-day free trial. And the model I stumbled upon, very good at money line in the NFL. So I'm imagining some plus opportunities on some money line dogs. Great at identifying those with what I was using. Ryan, what do you got cooking up over in your lab there?
Well, I think there's a couple money lines. You want to talk about some money lines?
Let's go.
Again, the model all gas loves the Steelers.
Really?
The money line.
Wow. So Ryan's all gas model, turn up the Bunsen burner, all gas on that Steelers offense in Atlanta week 1. I know we're going to be on that. It's good to hear Rhythm is on it as well. Build your own NFL models over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm RITHMM. Joining us here on Radio Row, you know, from Fox Sports Radio and VSiN, Mr. Jared Smith. What's happening, Jared?
Oh man, this is awesome. It's not quite Super Bowl Radio Row, but we're starting to get to that point. I talked to Derek last night, and he's really stoked about this whole atmosphere that you guys are doing on the contest weekend. It's really becoming a thing.
No, I mean, we've been coming here past few years for this, Ryan.
Yeah.
This is like
bigger.
2x last year.
100%.
2x. All the booths here are filled, and as much as you know, the Super Bowl Media Row is fun, but it's all just about one game. There's only so many things. Now this is
hope springs eternal.
These next 2 weeks, all your futures are live. All
Everything.
your preseason takes look great. It is just completely untarnished. And and just knock on wood that it's going to keep rolling like that. We're doing a Degens guide to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Now
2 years.
Yeah,
it's been 2 years. This
You're
month, 2 years. I think after 2 years, I have a driver's license in Nevada. Like that's it. I'm set.
You're good to go.
You say Nevada, right?
Yes, Nevada, not Nevada. They kick you out for that, and you have to know the state flower is a traffic cone, or else they kick you out for that too. Those are the things that those are like the local. Because I follow all the local accounts now, and they all have these influencers that all talk. You know, they talk Vegas.
Yeah, I like that.
But what about you? Vegas tip, the Degens guide. What's a little insider tip?
Well, I remember I told you guys about this a couple years ago, and I'll reiterate it now. If you've been here before, let's say you're coming here for the second or third time, rent a car.
Ooh.
Don't drink and drive, obviously, but rent a car, because there are the Strip from a local's perspective is such a small percentage of what's really fun about Vegas.
Yeah.
Like all of the local casinos where a lot of the locals hang out, Durango, Red Rock, all of those places are fantastic. And the restaurants off Strip are just as good, if not better. So, and they're not as expensive.
Yeah.
So I think you can offset the cost by, you know, saving a few bucks on some of the meals, and you get to go drive around I think it is the coolest city in the world, because you get the desert, the nature.
Mount Charleston's a really cool spot.
You just get so much more than just the Strip. So I always recommend, obviously be safe, but rent a car, especially if it's your second or third time here, because you can just see so much more.
Especially if you're going to be here for a couple days.
Exactly.
You can get out, get some fresh air, check out the Red Rock Casino. That's where
fresh air right back to the casino.
Well, you
fresh air in the car.
Fresh air at the Red Rock Park, and then go to the Red Rock Casino.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen those like Dana White videos of his high stakes blackjack,
I
but
love
that is Red Rock, and it's a cool place for sure.
Icebox Canyon, fun little hike
Good
over
hike.
there. And then
100%.
if you want to take a trip out to Boulder City,
there's some good casinos out there too.
Hacienda, which is a former whorehouse when they were building the dam.
I didn't know that.
If you are into outdoor stuff, you can actually hire an outfitter, drop in beneath the dam, paddle into down the river a bit, camp, and then get picked up in Arizona. So
And if
that's intense.
And if you are renting a car,
that's not very Vegas though.
No.
Little place to go. It's a little off. It's like in North Las Vegas, I think. My father-in-law took me there last time we were here. Roadkill Grill. Which is the barbecue is amazing.
There's so many great small restaurants. Like a very famous one that's actually down by me in the southern part of town is Naked City Pizza, which from Buffalo.
I've heard.
That one gets a ton of pub when people come into town. And that
really
one's not anywhere near the Strip. Like it is like 15 miles off the Strip. So you really either have to be able to spend a lot on Ubers or rent a car.
So rent a car, and then NFL future. What's an NFL future? You already got locked in. You're already feeling good about it.
I am very bearish on the Chargers this year. I think they're a slight plus price to miss the playoffs, if not right around even odds, and under 8.5 wins is very much plus money. I got plus 135.
Whoa.
And I just don't see Harbaugh coming in year one and turning this into a Big Ten program. They get rid of all the skill positions. They're all gone. The entire skill position group is gone, and they brought in the defensive coordinator from Michigan. Their goal, based off of their offseason, is to turn that place into Ann Arbor Southwest and just run the ball and play defense, but you can't do that in the NFL, and I think the Chargers are going to have a tough year.
I like the missed playoffs price.
Well, and it's, I mean, I think when we did the preview, I may have had him like sitting there right at 9 and 8, but I mean, the plantar fascia and not being able to practice with this new offense.
Yes.
I don't know. I like Harbaugh. I think he turns it around, but I'm like the timetable of when he turns it around. Yeah, I thought they were going to come in with no expectations, and I was like, oh,
big win total.
I can be a little higher than market, but I feel like they're priced probably a little closer to
well, how about
the
this?
more I think about it.
Over the last 15, I think it was over the last 20, it was since 2000, because that was Clev TA's, your buddy Clev TA's guide there. He gave out this nugget. He said that it's the highest win total of a team that had a win total of 5 last year. It's the highest increase. They only won 5 games last year.
Crazy.
Highest increase in the last like 25 years for a team that just won 5 games
And
last
honestly,
year.
too, if you're high on the Chargers and you like the situation and you like the over win total, even though it's chalky, just play Harbaugh Coach of the Year, because if they get to
if they
10,
win the
11,
division,
12 wins
in the division, I don't think they're going to win the division. I think that division is the Chiefs to take. Definitely another future I like. I'm very down on New England this year too. Sometimes it's easier to pick the teams that are going to suck than it is the teams that are going to be good.
We just did our how to win the Survivor pool, and there's so many spots where you're like, oh yeah, good time to fade the Patriots there. Well, Jared, appreciate you hopping on as always. Give Jared a follow on X at Jared Lee Smith. Thanks, Jared.
Appreciate it,
ride,
guys.
man.
Let it ride, baby.
Joining us here on Radio Row at the beautiful Circa Las Vegas. You know him. He did the Raiders team preview, Mr. Vegas Matty. What's happening, Matty?
Not much. How are you guys doing?
Great, man. Appreciate you hopping on. It is, of course, you're the official proxy.
That's
People
right.
are still looking to get in for the proxy for any of the contests. Proxy.footballcontest.com. Promo code SGP.
Yep.
You get $50
You guys are racking
off.
them up, I can tell you. You're doing pretty well with those.
Awesome. Well, that's great. And if you already signed up with Matty, hit us up. We'll get you a free hat to toss into the package as well. We just signed up for the contest.
Oh yeah, very easy process. I did not come away injured at all.
That's good.
We'd
don't
have
be
issues
scared if you did. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Tony. Very helpful. Got us all locked in, all ready to go. And contest time is here. We're getting jacked up. Now, we had you on for the Raiders team preview.
Oh my God. First of all, I have to apologize for saying that O'Connell was going to win the starting job.
It's all right.
So I feel like an ass, first of all, for that.
I don't think you were wrong, because everything I was reading about, well, obviously you're wrong.
Well, I was wrong. You guys said Gardner Minshew, and I was like,
You got us on the right. You're kind of on the right side.
All the accounts of the team and the insiders and the beat reporters are like, they're trying to let Aiden O'Connell win this
They
job.
gave him every opportunity to win the job, and he shit the bed for whatever reason.
Your heart was in the right place, even though, as you pointed out, you were wrong and we were right. But
I did want to give you guys credit, first of all, for saying that. I think my win prediction is still going to be accurate with Gardner Minshew. I'm still pretty down on the Raiders overall. I just don't
like optimism. Brock Bowers has looked pretty interesting in the preseason.
He has. I mean, here's the thing, guys, is like their defense is going to be killer. I think they're going to have a top 10 defense. Yeah. Right. Which is great, but you got to be able to score points. So
run the ball.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with Derek Carr and why he was rode out of town, it was because he couldn't get the offense to score more than 21 points. So you can't tell me that, 2 years later, that this current situation is any better.
Well, that Gardner Minshew working out to Creed has me all in on the team. So I'm in.
Dude, he has more personality than Derek Carr. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
So, and you know what? He is not afraid to run the ball. So the biggest pet peeve I had about Derek Carr was just that when something would break down in the pocket, he would get happy feet and just sit there, and he couldn't take a hit, so he'd always throw the ball away.
We joked that Derek Carr was the king of throwing it away on fourth down.
Absolutely, and he's doing the same thing in New Orleans. Like, if you want to take a fantasy football guy, you take or a kicker, I should say, you take the kicker on whoever Derek Carr's team is.
Oh, that's a great.
If you look at Daniel Carlson had his worst year ever last year without Derek Carr. He was like a top 3 kicker, right, with Derek Carr, because he is one of the best in the NFL at getting you to the red zone, and then the drive stalls. So that's
a great handicap.
Derek Carr is very good. Trust me, I was a big fan of his. And now I just cannot stand the guy, and
apparently neither can his teammates. If you've seen them, some of them are like, last year it's like, how can I be?
How about Michael Thomas? How about the Michael Thomas thing?
Yeah, clearly
he rode him out of town, and I mean, it's just unfortunate. Like, as for a strong Christian man that he is, he just doesn't seem like he backs it up like in the leadership category, which is unfortunate, because talent-wise, I thought he had it, but the fact that he couldn't stand in there and take a hit, when guys like, God, who's the guy who replaced him like the last few years for the Raiders? I'm trying to remember. He was in Denver. He's in Denver now.
Oh, Stidham.
Yeah. So Stidham, I remember Devontae Adams came out right away and was like, this guy at least will come out and take a hit.
Stidham had a couple good games there towards the end.
Well, he lit it up against the Niners, and everyone thought they were going to beat the Chiefs, and they got rolled the next game.
I think it was on the Raiders there.
Stidham could be the best quarterback on the Raiders right now. I wish they would have held on to him. But
I
digress a little bit.
So, and again, check out the Raiders team preview. Bunch of good breakdown there. Those are super fun.
Just don't listen to the starting quarterback.
Yeah, don't listen. Ignore the starting quarterback angle.
Everything else is gold. Yeah.
Is there another? We didn't really talk league in general, Matty, but is there an NFL future that you like besides the Raiders stuff we talked about?
Oh boy. Well, I am a Bears fan. That's why I'm donning the Chicago hat today. I do. It's so hard not to get caught up in the Hard Knocks hype. Like it's my favorite show on TV now. I'm excited about the Bears
fan.
Since like for the first time since like 2006. How can you not? But like, I'm just praying that like Caleb Williams still stays healthy. That's the one thing, because if he does, there's no way no one else is going to win Rookie of the Year. I know everyone's given Jaden Daniels love and everything like that, but like Caleb is a lock if he stays healthy. Now that's a big if. And that's all on the Bears offensive line. But I mean, the Bears to me are a good, like, and again, it's nothing you haven't heard before. They're a good sleeper team to make the playoffs and everything like that. But the division is so difficult, right? I mean, Minnesota sucks. Like, don't worry about them. The Lions have very high expectations. And then you got the Packers, so it'll be interesting to see. I think the Bears-Packers games this year are going to be phenomenal.
No, NFC North is going to be must watch.
But you could get 3 playoff teams out of that division. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the Bears, like they came close last year. They rallied hard at the end of the season.
I think to me, like the case of the Bears is going to be, well, obviously, like you said, Caleb Williams, his health, but it's hard not to be optimistic on him. It's going to be, can the defense keep up what they did last year so well?
Dude, and if you look at the depth in the preseason games, like how well they played, I want to say they've had a pick 6 like in every game.
They've been great.
And I know it's the preseason.
Them in the preseason.
I know it's the preseason. They went 4-0, whatever. But the thing is, it's that depth. They're going like 2 or 3 guys deep, and those guys are fighting for roster spots, and they're getting picks and running them back for touchdowns. I swear, there's like they've had a defensive touchdown like in every game. And you know, Eberflus, that's like his thing. If he
he's loving that.
He is loving it.
So Bears are minus 110 right now
to make the playoffs.
Wow.
So that's a pick 'em. That's a little respect from the odds makers, I think.
And hard knock. You're getting a little hard knock.
You are. Hype. Yeah, they should be like minus 120 or minus 150 based on that, just on all the hype. But I mean, it's very hard because like being a Chicago sports fan, every time you get super high on a team, they will just break your heart. So I'm trying very hard not to. I'm going to be wearing my Caleb Williams jersey at my draft tomorrow night.
Have you got? So you have it.
I ordered one. Nice. I got the orange one. So hopefully people don't confuse me for Peyton Manning. But
what was the quarterback jersey? Have you ever owned another Bears quarterback jersey?
I had a Cutler jersey.
Okay, I was going to say.
Well, get this. This is crazy. So when I was in, I want to say 7th grade, I had and this is going to date me quite a bit, but I had a Doug Flutie jersey when he played for the Bears, number 2. So I've always rooted hard for Jim McMahon follows me on Twitter. I'm excited about that.
We've had him on the podcast.
He's a great guy. So I love Jim. It was his birthday. Belated happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday, Jim.
So love him. Steve Fuller, I never had his jersey. He actually won some big games during the Super Bowl year. I didn't plunk down the money for Justin Fields, even though I was a supporter of him a little bit.
Couldn't quite get
this
there.
is my wife will tell you that don't buy a jersey because every jersey I buy, whether it's a Golden Knights player, a football player, it's absolute trash. I did buy a Brady. She's a big Tom Brady fan.
Oh, no.
Okay.
And I did buy a retro Buccaneers jersey the year they won the Super Bowl, and I did wear that.
Creamsicle.
I did wear the creamsicle at Stadium Swim for the Super Bowl in 2020 when they stomped the Chiefs.
Okay.
So
all
that's
right.
some power.
So that's a nice
maybe I broke the skid there. We'll see.
Fun bringing in the Doug Flutie thing full circle. I actually watched Doug Flutie and his brothers perform July 4th this past year. He lives in I got a condo in Florida. He lives in the same area.
That's awesome.
Pretty wild.
So I have just real quick, a Brent Musburger. I signed up for the Super Contest earlier today, and he was telling me a story about the Doug Flutie game against Miami, and that it's a little known fact, but the play before the Gerald Phelan play that won the game, there was a penalty, on the Miami defense, and what happened? The very next play, the defensive coordinator, I guess, thought the game was over, so he was heading towards the locker room.
Really?
Yeah. So the defensive player that was supposed to be covering Gerald Phelan,
oh my goodness,
like one of the corners, he was in a totally different spot on the second play. They ran the same play twice in a row, basically. But once they noticed that the player was off, it opened that play up, and the rest is history. But it's amazing. It's amazing to me. Yeah, just the mind of Brent Musburger and all of the stories.
How do you remember that? You know,
dude, he remembers it. He talks.
He probably had money on.
He probably did. He
on Flutie.
He talks to Doug about it. Doug knew. He still keeps in touch with him, and he had. It's like one of those little things that behind the scenes that you never knew that happened, but that was one of the secrets to that whole play unraveling. So
that's great. That's a great nugget. Great story.
Yeah,
Matty, Degen Guide to Vegas. We're getting people's like one little tip, little inside trick. Maybe it's a thing to do, thing not to do, place to check out. What is one piece of advice you have for someone maybe coming out to Las Vegas?
Yeah, I mean the number one thing is you got to have, as long as you have enough time, you got to have a break at some point. Take a day off. No, I'm not kidding me.
This is the best advice so far.
You guys had talked about Red Rock Casino.
Yeah.
If you go further out and you go to the Red Rock out that way, the recreational area. You can go even a little further out. It's about 40-minute drive towards Utah. Valley of Fire, beautiful. You think it's
check that out.
You go out there, it's like Mars. Like you'll just see like rock formations that you haven't seen. And like I think the best day I ever had in Vegas, I came out and I took a day off and went to Charleston, which is again about 30, 40 minutes away. It's 30, 40 degrees cooler out there as well.
They'll have it'll be like 90 degrees in Vegas, and Mount Charleston will still have snow.
Give yourself a break.
All right.
Recharge
like
the battery. If you have more than 24 hours and you can afford to
especially
take a little break.
30 plus.
The fresh air is important. I think it is nice to get outside.
It is, especially in Vegas. I mean, it's going to cool off this weekend. It's going to be in the 90s, guys. Believe it or not. But otherwise, you don't want to go out on Fremont Street. You know that. That's not going to be your break. It's not going to do you anything. You're going to want to go right back inside to Circa, right?
Yeah.
So take a little drive, rent a car, take a break, clear the mind, and then come back and kick some ass, right?
And you'll be fully recharged.
I love this too.
Best advice.
Matty, of course, hit him up for all your proxy needs and use that promo code SGP. Follow him on X at Vegas_Matty. Appreciate it, Matty.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for hopping on. Let it ride.
Hope you win some money.
Yes, we will.
Big thanks to all our guests. We got the CJ Sullivan, the Dalai Lama himself. Dalai Lama, Ryan, if we were going to power rank CJ's nicknames, I think Dalai Lama has to be rising, right?
It's number one.
Scumbagger Vince, Slatty Daddy.
No. Number one.
Dalai Lama is great. Shout out to the Dalai Lama, getting your numbers left and right. Jeff Benson, great. I think first time on the show. Great to have him on. And of course, Vegas Matty, Tim Murray, Jared Smith, all our buddies. Great checking in, everyone. Awesome weekend as always here in Circa Las Vegas. Come out here. It's still time. Sign up for the contest, proxy.footballcontest.com. Get you a nice $50 off your proxy fee. 16 million in guaranteed prizes. What are you waiting for? This could be the year. You're going to feel like an idiot if you win your office survivor pool and you weren't also in the Circa Survivor. We met who was that gentleman, Ryan? We ran into at Jackpots who was he won the Circa Clark. Yeah, shout out to listener Clark who won he slow rolled us. He goes, I got 5th place in the Circa Million last year, and he was at they do a banquet for the winners. Champions dinner. He won back in 2018. I think he won the first one.
Whatever the first Survivor year, he chopped it up with some people, but a win's a win.
Yeah, and he ended up getting a nice chunk of change. He goes, maybe an asterisk because there was no Christmas week. We're like, you won Circa Survivor, you don't need any asterisks.
He did start off by saying that he knew he was going to run into some famous people in Vegas.
We did get a photo with him, so that was cool. Thank you, man, for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Reminder: football promo code for the merch store, 10% off everything. And of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
$16 million.
Kramer, let it ride.